Hi, boys and girls. I'm here today with another story. And this story is also about some forest animals. And it's another story that I think you will remember. And it's a very nice story. And this story is called Red Riding Hood. But I know this story as Little Red Riding Hood. And guess what? The same author and illustrator as the three bears that I read to you. So this is retold, or the author is James Marshall. What does the author do? The author writes the story, illustrated by James Marshall. He's also the illustrator. He did the drawings. And there she is. Now, I think Little Red Riding Hood is the opposite of Goldilocks. What do you think? A long time ago, in a simple cottage beside the deep, dark woods, there lived a pretty child called Red Riding Hood. She was kind and considerate, and everybody loved her. Little Red Riding Hood was a good little girl. One afternoon, Little Red Riding Hood's mother called her. "Granny isn't feeling up to snuff today," she said, "so I've baked her favorite custard as a little surprise. Be a good girl and take it to her, will you?" Red Riding Hood was delighted. She loved going to Granny's, even though it meant crossing the deep, dark woods. Little Red Riding Hood is a good little girl. When the custard had cooled, Red Riding Hood's mother wrapped it up and put it in a basket. "Now, whatever you do," she said, "go straight to Granny's. Do not tarry, and do not speak to any strangers." Do you know what tarry means? To tarry means to take your time and to not be trying to get there as fast as you can. But listen to this part. She says, "Do not speak to any strangers." That's very important in this story. "Yes, Mama," said Little Red Riding Hood. So there she goes. What did Mom tell her? Don't tarry, don't be late, and don't talk to strangers. Before long, she was in the deepest part of the woods. "Ooh," she said, "this is scary." Now look very carefully. Do you see a forest animal? I think I do. Suddenly, a large wolf appeared. "Good afternoon, my dear," he said. "Care to stop for a little chat?" Do you know what a chat is? When you want to talk. "Oh, gracious me," said Red Riding Hood. "Mama said not to speak to any strangers." Shouldn't speak to strangers. But the wolf had such charming manners. That means that the wolf, he was being so nice to her that she forgot what her mom told her. He had such charming manners. "And where are you going, sweet thing?" he said. "I'm on my way to visit Granny, who lives in the pretty yellow house on the other side of the woods," said Red Riding Hood. "She's feeling poorly, and I'm taking her a surprise." "You don't say," said the wolf. Just then he had a delightful idea. He was thinking this in his head. "No reason why I can't eat them both," he thought. What does he want to do? He wants to eat them. Oh, no. "Allow me to escort you," he said. "You never know what might be lurking about." In other words, you don't know what's hanging around out there in the woods. "You're too kind," said Little Red Riding Hood. Should she trust the wolf? Beyond the forest, they came to a patch of sunflowers. "Why not pick a few?" suggested the wolf. "Grannies love flowers, you know." But while Little Red Riding Hood was picking a pretty bouquet, the clever wolf hurried on ahead to Granny's house. He knocked on the door. Knock, knock. "Who is it?" called out Granny.
"It is I, your delicious, your darling granddaughter,"
said the wolf in a high voice. "The door's unlocked," said Granny. He was trying to disguise his voice. "Surprise," said the wolf. Granny was furious at having her reading interrupted. "Get out of here, you horrid thing," she cried. Granny wasn't happy to see him, but the wolf gobbled her up right away. And he didn't even bother to chew. Tasty. Just then he heard footsteps in the garden on the garden path. Here comes dessert. Who was dessert? Little Red Riding Hood. And losing no time at all, he put on Granny's cap and glasses, and he jumped into the bed and he pulled up the covers. She knocked at the door. Knock, knock.
"Who is it?"
he called in his sweetest Granny voice. "It is I, your little granddaughter," said Little Red Riding Hood.
"The door's unlocked,"
said the wolf. Oh my God, look at those feet. Red Riding Hood was distressed at seeing her grandmother so changed. She was distressed. That meant that she was upset because her granny didn't look the same. "Why, Granny," she said, "what big eyes you have."
"The better to see you with, my dear,"
said the wolf. "And Granny, what long arms you have."
"The better to hug you, my dear,"
said the wolf. "And Granny, what big teeth you have." "The better to eat you with, my dear," cried the wolf. Uh-oh, look at those teeth. And he gobbled her right up. "I'm so wicked," he said. So wicked. And he really was enormously pleased with himself. And having enjoyed such a heavy meal, he was soon snoring away. I'm going to snore for you like my grandma used to snore when I was a little girl. She used to do this. A hunter was passing by and was alarmed by the frightful racket. "That doesn't sound like Granny," he said. Do you see the hunter? And so the brave hunter jumped in the window and killed the sleeping wolf, and he cut him open. And out jumped Granny and Red Riding Hood. "We are ever so grateful," said Little Red Riding Hood. "And that wicked wolf won't trouble you again," said the hunter. "It was so dark in there I couldn't read a word," said Granny. Red Riding Hood promised never, ever to speak to another stranger, charming manners or not. So no matter how polite they are, she is not going to talk to them. And she never did. Was she going to talk to that alligator? I don't think so. The end. That was a great story. So, until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.